1 second. I've got to go here. Okay, that's weird. Why does it have that logo? Content. Live. Save. Boom. Okay. Why do I look so dumb? Okay, now it changed. Huh, that's strange. It has one logo, one banner ad on YouTube. We'll come back. I was doing Snap. Snap, Crackle, Pop. Let's go over Boeing earnings. We're going to go over let's see. There's an article. I know there's an article in here. Here it is. Morning, Joe. This is the article that I want. And we're gonna go to Spotify because we're gonna do this for Spotify. Boom. Boeing is up 3% after, let's say, it reaffirmed the outlook. Do I want it in charts? Let's see. No, I think we'll just... Oh, God. Hate these people taking pictures that they'll never look at again. Morning, Nevin. Okay, hold on. I gotta start this up. Because I'm not looking... When I don't look over here, I don't see... No. I don't want my favorite movies. Oh, sweet. I get to watch a Joe Biden ad before I actually tune into myself. Skip ads. Let's... This article will be good. Where am I going to put this? I'll put it right here. We'll put it after here. BA earnings. Up percent in pre-market. Okay. See, I don't, what I think, let's see. I wish they had some type of calendar here. Malls are not dead. That's all the portfolio headlines, editors' picks, notable calls and insights. Maybe they just don't. I like this. I logged on here before. This is the U.S. equity sectors. I like the day range and the 52-week range. So you can see small cap and micro cap on 52-week. I mean, geez, we're down at the bottom. Look at real estate. Real estate still hasn't taken off, even though yesterday you kind of finished at the high. Look at communication services. You're at 52-week highs. Consumer discretionary, you're right in the middle. Utilities, you're down below. Look, the ones you want to focus on are these areas that have opportunity. And healthcare has just been lagging. Morning, Zephin. And this is why I like Seeking Alpha. I think most of this stuff is free. I just don't know what's free and what's paid for on Seeking Alpha. I need to explore the difference. But the alpha picks, no. I think I have to upgrade for this. Yeah, I don't want to upgrade for this. $180 is what I paid, got this for. I have that saved article. I need to read that one. Okay, let's do some scans. Oh, you know what I need to look up? I need to look up Meta. Because I want to see if there's an article about... I'll put on Do Not Disturb. Thursday. I mean, I like... I'm going to take this picture. Put that there. I'll be right back. I don't know why I put that damn thing on mute. I was screaming. What happened with CVX? Did they report? Oh, yeah. I don't think here's the thing. I mean, pre-market it's at 157. Yesterday's 2% fall is because they bought Hess. I mean, you can't argue that was a good move. Let's see, peers. Let's look at some peers. So Chevron market cap. There's Shell, Exxon, Total Energies, BP, Equinor. I guess you can put in others. Let's see. Let's put in some of our. Equinor, I don't know. Total Energies, I'm not sure of. Shell we'll leave in there. Oh. Man, the app on Roku. Let me restart this. Settings. System restart. Let's add in Oxy. Let's add in. We have Exxon, so we don't really need PXD. We'll add in Devon. Why not? I think those are the energy names that I have. So let's take a look. You can see market cap just night and day between Oxy and Devon and the big boys. Employees, night and day. Again, Devon only has 1,800 employees. Analysts covering it, you can see, night and day. There's not as many covering. Wall Street analysts. Then you got price return. Let's do total return. That's what I want. Total return, you can see the two top ones are Shell and BP at 30%. Exxon is at 5%. This is a 1-year return. Oxy is down 10%. Devon is down 32%. You can see the ratings. They're all exactly the same. Quant ratings. Industry rank. Quant valuations. This one has a profitability of A+. That's Devon with a profitability of A+. All of them A+. Earnings per share B+. Trading wise, total return, you can see the total return. Just Shell is just amazing for a 1-year return of 30%. God. BP 30%. Look at the 3-year return. Just look at the 3-year return, 145% of. But look at the 3-year return of Occidental, of Devon. Dividends, dividend yields, the yield going forward, very low for Devon and Oxy, but they do special dividends. Typically, Chevron doesn't do special dividends. So, great tool here. But I like CVX because it traded down. Okay, let's go back to Meta. I need an article on Meta about their earnings just because I do think it's so good. Still a bargain. We're going to take this one, even though it's from Thursday. We'll take that. There were a couple of news articles on Meta that about the suit from the attorneys general. Meta sued by California and other states exploiting young people. Quant ranking. Yeah, I don't think they're grappling with competition. Okay. Let us close this down. We're going to keep that open up. We're going to go and do some scans. Because yesterday, let's be honest, yesterday was a roller coaster of a ride. And I got to look up scans, Roblox, Cliff, BA, Uber. Uber went up. Wow, that was at 41. Yeah, you could have a death cross. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Brokerage holdings, let's look at that. I don't think there's going to be much difference here. If CAVX does fall below 150, I agree with you, Christian. If that one falls below 150, I think you pick that one up. I want to look at SPY. And I want to look at data, display extended hours, and we're going to go to a 5-minute while this thing thinks about itself. See, that's the trading range yesterday. I mean, look at that. That trading range, let's see what it is. And we traded up. (1.5% from low to high. That's pretty good. We have 5-minute trading range. Okay, let's go back. We're going to take out extended time. That's just, this is yesterday on a 5-minute chart. I'm sorry, this is yesterday. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay, let's go to a 4-hour. Boom. Oh, come on, stop. Why are you taking so much damn time? EXPI. What is EXPI? Real estate. Cloud-based technologies in order to grow an international brokerage without the burden of physical brick and mortar. The firm offers software subscriptions to customers to access it for I have no idea what this virtual real estate. 30 richest zip codes in the U.S. Hold on. Does this mention EXPI? Okay. On this note, a subsidiary of agent-centric focus to this end, it has launched Luna, an AI support chatbot designed to provide agents. Oh, so it's a technology company that focuses on, okay, cloud-based real estate brokerage firm. That's what it is. So it's a real estate agency. Cloud-based. PE is crazy. Okay. That's nuts. SCO. Ooh, SCO. How is SCO? Is oil going negative? Oil has gone negative, it looks like. The futures, at least. Let's see if I have anything in my core. Man, it's taking forever to scan for some reason. I don't know what's up with TrendSpider. By the way, here to provide you. Oh, DraftKings. We're going to put that one in. To provide you with some entertainment. A clip from yesterday. Let's look at a weekly on this one. Here's COVID. Pre-COVID, this was a $159 stock.
You're right. M&M's is
What
March.
makes you think they are that much better today than they were pre-COVID? I mean, pre-COVID, it was at an all-time high, and it's 159. Do you think this one deserves that much of a multiple? Listen. You will find like a party-sized bag of peanut M&Ms in my house at all times. They raise the price. I could care less. I am not buying knockoff peanut M&Ms. I am not buying crappy bougie chocolate-covered stuff. I am buying peanut M&Ms. I am filling my soul with peanut M&Ms. Does that mean I want to buy this stock at a PE of 18? Hell no. It's got a 2.33% dividend. You're down 18%. Let's look at a weekly on this one.
Clip in the newsletter.
If you'd like to sign up for it. Levered ETFs. Let's go levered ETFs. Angry old man moment. Nothing in levered ETFs. That's interesting. Any Vanguard groups that got a cross up? Nothing in the Vanguard groups. Let's see about spider sectors. Nothing in the spider sectors. Let's see my not owned list, which I have to add to. I have a couple. Yeah, see, there's a lot in this one. ARKG. I like to keep track of the ARK funds because I do think they can be traded. I like trade Airbnb. That's an interesting one. We have ARKW. We have BABA. We have Fubo for Sherry. Sherry's back in California. Wayfair. K-Web. Lightspeed. Not putting those in. Global X Social. This is Global X Social. CRISPR, which has been beaten down. Boeing, which we talked about. That's up 3.59%. XPEV. That's just a nightmare. NEO, which we talked about, down another 2%. Tilray. Cleveland Cliffs down 0.26, but they beat earnings. That's just taking a little breather today. Probably be up later today if the market goes up. Carnival Cruise just has been slide. It could go down more. PDD. I like PDD because they own Temu. Chewy, this was a $40 stock just like last year. I mean, shit, maybe a couple months ago. This was a $40 stock, in July to $17. That's what higher longer can do for you. Zoom, $61, still not in my wheelhouse. Sandile, the pot stuff doesn't. Let's look up the Dow. I got a lot of scans that have shown up. Nike. Love this to rebound. This one wasn't. I mean, look at here. We talk about ones that come back. There's a quality company that got beaten down, and it's blown through its 200-day. I mean, it covered the gaps. Good earnings back here in September. Solid gain confirmation. Gapped up there. You would have gotten it at 95. I mean, that's a nice move. My guess is that 109, 110. So if you want another couple percent in a stock that you could hold, no problem. I mean, is this one going down to 50? Probably not. That's a solid company. It got out ahead of its skis. You ever see ski jumpers who lean too far and then fall over? That's Nike. They got out over their skis. They tumbled down. That's just Nike. So, and I don't know. I'd like for everybody to comment. I think most of you guys that show up for lives just listen to the lives. But if you listen to the podcast, let me know in the comments. Were the ads annoying? It's one thing that I don't want to do is annoy everybody, but Daddy also needs some money. ASML. Why does it always remind me of that? Hey, Ofer. Airbnb showed up. Zoom. We went over Melly. Is this one kind of just hovering? What about Dell? I'll look at Dell for you. I'll look at Dell before I start. Look at that. We drew that channel. We drew that. I don't know when I drew it, but that on the weekly, I think you've broken down a little bit. You're at 1221, and the channel broke down. Let's put Melly in there because I think some people watch it. Let's go to the S&P. Man, I saw, just so you know, I saw the RTX, the Raytheon CEO on CNBC yesterday. What a fucking douche. Just what a douche. I hate that guy. It's tragic what's happening in Israel and Gaza. It's tragic what's happening in Ukraine. But we're going to be there to support the efforts of freedom. Yet you're killing people, dude. The tools that you provide are killing people, whether it's on the terrorist side or on the protection side. So don't act like you're innocent and that it's all horrible and stuff like that. Your pockets are being lined by people buying bombs. Michael, ARM is one of those that I don't know, man. ARM is just, it's funny because the valuation is still rich. And I say that with a company that with its revenues. Oh, come on, S&P. Why are you not scanning? I'll look at Dell and ARM. I mean, from a technical perspective, I think, Michael, you're okay. Remember the actual IPO price, I think, was actually half of what it was before it came to market. But it's popped back up. And there's no... Ooh, GE. Okay. Let me see if GE Healthcare. I want to actually put GE Healthcare in a watch list, because I want to see when this one starts to pop back up. Let's go over here. We'll go to a yes. We'll go to the 4-hour algorithm because I think GE Healthcare will come back. I'm gonna put this in which list? I'm gonna put this in not owned. Okay, let's look at Dell. First, we'll look at Dell, and then we'll look at ARM. And then I'm going to start the podcast. Dell. Here is Dell. You got an earnings gap that happened August 31st between 56 and 62. My guess, look at those earnings from $1.31 to $1.74. I think you come back to cover this. I mean, if we're just looking at the last two earnings period, and I pull this back here, the VWAP is right in the middle of the gap at 60. Here is the MACD right on the oscillator. You're about to have a cross up. Remember, my algorithm is based on a MACD. So up here, there you go. It's about to cross up. You're probably going to get another. I would wait for confirmation. Here's what you have to know about Dell. it's at all-time highs. I mean, it's not. It's. This goes back to 2018 when they IPO'd or something. But yeah, it's at all-time highs. So let's go over here. First we'll go to FinViz and look at it, and then I'll go to Seeking Alpha. PE's 25, forward PE's 9. So it's not super expensive, but it is at all-time highs. I mean, well, its all-time high is 72. So it's trading at 66. It's 8% below that. The target price is 73. Most recent September, Daiwa Securities neutral to outperform with an $80 price target. $80 price target, that's a pretty decent move. But, I mean, just a week beforehand, Barclays downgraded them to 53. And then they have that great earnings report. Let's see if Michael Dell's selling. Let's see. The general counsel is selling $2 million at $68. $2 million worth. That's nothing. Chief marketing officer sold $20 million worth back in July at 55. Kind of thought 55 might have been a top if you're selling $20 million. You know who else? The STLTA, they got out. They sold, what's that? Almost $400 million worth. Sold $400 million worth at the price of 55. I mean, Ofer, if you own a Dell PC, if you love a Dell PC, if you buy Dell products and services, I can't argue with it. I'm a Mac guy. I'm not a huge fan of Dell. I've had Dells in the past. I have not been impressed. I think they scrape the bottom of the barrel when it comes to computers. I think I don't think it's a great PC maker. I think it's a good PC maker. You can see from here on Seeking Alpha ratings, Seeking Alpha Analyst, 3.66 is a buy. Quant has it as a hold at 3.49. Wall Street has it at a buy of 4.05. Here is something from last Thursday, October 19th. I'll put this so you can read it in the section right here. Remember that if you sign up for Seeking Alpha, I like this. I've said before, I love Seeking Alpha, but this is a total addressable market opportunity. That's a great article. I mean, this will give you everything you need to know about Dell. This will give you. Look at this. This is the market share of what they're doing. Financial analysis. Core debt going down. So there's bulls out there. Let's see if there's a bear as well. Hold. Not convinced of $2 billion AI server backlog. We expect cloud hyperscalers to dominate AI due to their economies. We think Dell traded higher on Broadcom's VMware acquisition and the $2 billion AI server backlog, up 62% over the past 6 months, outperforming the S&P by 56%. We now expect outperformance to moderate in 2H23, second half of 23. So here's an opposite one. I'm not convinced it's the greatest investment, Ofer. And remember, I do a mix of technical, which is the charts. And when you're close to those all-time highs and 52-week highs, I don't know that you want to get in. I think you start to trim. I think, once you lose this confirmation on the weekly and it starts to button hook a little bit, you're looking probably at a little, the 50 days still moving positive. You could come down to 59. That's where I probably see some support right around 60, just because it's, probably going to pull back. This move up on the earnings, that gap on the 4 hour, if we just run this 4 hour, here's what you really want to look at. And this is my 4 hour algorithm. And the ex-dividend date was paid, so the dividend was paid. My algorithm over 2 years makes you 37% trading Dell. You have 25 positions. So essentially you buy and sell once a month. You make 37%. The actual asset only makes you 18%. So if you're close to a MACD cross up on this, you could try and take it. I just don't think that the upside is worth the risk. So don't have FOMO. Sure, it could go to 120 if all of a sudden, Apple decides, you know what, we're going to have Dell make our PCs. But, okay, Zephan, Gary, if you had to choose for one company for a long-term hold 10 plus years to buy this week, what would you choose? Zephan, Apple. I mean, is that even a question? Something you would buy today and add to as it goes up or down, even add as it goes up. The grade 8, Zephan. If you go over to my, let's see, dailystockpicks.substack.com, let's look up grade 8. This is from June. I think there's a paid one. But here's the grade 8. Zephan, remember, and I'm biased. I'm 100% biased. But I would choose from that grade 8. I would choose over. Make sure you're subscribed, by the way, and hit that thumbs up button. Like and subscribe. I'm a true influencer. It's hard for me to be objective. I'm a tech investor. And so while I hate to influence people that way, because we're all different. Some people may love Boeing. They may say, this is a company that makes planes. We're all going to be on planes forever. It's a company that maintains planes. That's where they make their bread and butter. They ain't going anywhere. Christian. I can't get out of that mindset that if I had to buy one stock, it would have to be Apple. If I had to buy a second stock, I think it might be Google. I think that might be my second. Now, that's not my second largest holding. My second largest holdings are I think it's Amazon or Microsoft. But Google and Microsoft, I kind of put those in the same realm, if you will. I mean, out of the top 4 grade 8 between Apple, Microsoft, Google, and Amazon, I think that probably makes up 60, 70%, maybe even 80% of my portfolio. Everything else I view as disposable. The one that Amazon's a good one. Amazon is solid. Amazon, I mean, look, AI is going to have to run on Amazon AWS. Anything under 130, I still think that's a great buy. Remember when I was yelling, screaming, Amazon under 100, just buy it? Back here in May of this year, April and May, I was adding to it. I bought a bunch of it. I bought a bunch of Google under 100. It doesn't feel comfortable when they're down that high. And I know, Olaf, or if I just said, hey, don't buy things at their 52-week highs and all-time highs and stuff. Look, I mean, you still have 30% to get back to the all-time highs on Amazon. Just on Amazon, just to get back to where it was trading in 2021. So you still have 30% to get back to that. That's why I like Amazon. I don't think it's cheap. I mean, we looked at Dell. Forward PE on Dell is only 9. You look at Amazon, the forward PE is 40. So it's not cheap. But I can't get out of that mindset. And so if you pin me down and tell me what are you investing in, that, and I don't want to because remember the number one rule on this podcast: do not listen to a douche on the internet. And I am that douche on the internet. So you have to. It's kind of like I was talking with Joe the other day just on chat, and I said, hey, You've got to make sure whatever decision, and he was talking about something about, me not trimming Apple enough, even though it's up at highs. How do I do it? Now, you just got to find what helps you sleep at night. And that may be VOO and chill. Honest to God, it may be VOO and chill. Because the VOO right now, you're under that 200 day. You're starting to get that button hook, that MACD starting to turn over. And remember, on SPY and the indices, we are earnings. Amazon tonight. Amazon is tomorrow. Let me just write that down. Meta after the bell. Amazon tomorrow. Let me go over to Seeking Alpha and look at Amazon, because Amazon should be a buy. And I do think that lawsuit, it could take their eye off the ball. I continue to say that all of these are still strong buys. We're going to do 3 reasons why Amazon could beat. And we'll do this one. Okay. And then I am going to start the podcast. Okay. We're going to take this. Remove. Yes. Wah, wah, wah. Okay. We're going to go up. Yeah, but here's the thing, Christian. Amazon makes so much money. They'll be fine refinancing their debt. I don't think you're going to have a huge debt issue with those guys. I know that it comes due or something. There's something about their debt. It's expensive. I mean, that's just the nature of it. It's an expensive stock, and it always has been. It's kind of like, when they tell you not to invest in Tesla. Natural gas is up 1.57. I think Boyle's starting to boil. Let's look at Boyle's chart. Yeah, that's why I like, and if you pin me down on one, that's why I like Apple. Apple doesn't need any debt. They have nothing on debt. And we talked about it yesterday, how they can build. I do still have PayPal. It's been painful. I do have PayPal, but I do. Let's see. Boyle. Boyle's getting that cross up again. But I don't like to talk about this on earnings week. But okay. I do still have PayPal. Okay. I'm going to ignore your questions and your comments. And when Christian tells me that Mars makes M&Ms, I will glance down and I will correct myself if it's right. Let's see. Yeah, and if the FTC wins, their lawsuit, you get Amazon Web Services as a prize, and then you can dump the consumer business. So, okay, I'm gonna start this mofo. The market's open. Good morning. It is 9:30, Wednesday, October 25th. I've been looking at Dell. Looking at, Zephan asked me a good question. If I had one stock to buy, which one would it be? I mean, come on. Is it any question? Apple. Apple would be what I buy. So we went over that. And if you want to watch it live on YouTube, I think it's 43 minutes in. 40 minutes in is kind of where I start the rant. I found out yesterday you can do transcripts on YouTube, and I had an angry old man thing yesterday, so I clipped it. Let's look at a weekly on this one. Here's COVID. Pre-COVID, this was a $159 stock. What makes you think they are that much better today than they were pre-COVID? I mean, pre-COVID, it was at an all-time high, and it's $159. Do you think this one deserves that much of a multiple? Listen, you will find a party-sized bag of peanut M&Ms in my house at all times. They raise the price. I could care less. I am not buying knockoff peanut M&Ms. I am not buying crappy bougie chocolate-covered stuff. I am buying peanut M&Ms. I am filling my soul with peanut M&Ms. Does that mean I want to buy this stock at a PE of 18? Hell no.
That was about Hershey. And Christian corrected me. Hershey doesn't make M&Ms.
Mars makes M&Ms. But my point is, I love freaking M&Ms. So an angry old man episode yesterday. Get off my lawn, kid. That's essentially what that was. I will include that in the newsletter. Essentially, I read yesterday. In fact, I think Google listens to my microphone because I got an article that cocoa was up 45% year to date, and that all the Halloween candy is like crazy expensive. Yeah. Apple. Speaking of Apple, Apple.com. No, we want Apple.com. Stop. They announced an event. An event that is on, I can't even find it. Oh, where is it? It says scary. Here it is. Learn more. 10:30, not 10:30 at night. It's 10:30, October 30th at 5 p.m. It's nighttime. This is kind of what everyone thinks. It's the M3. That's the Mac symbol. So everybody's thinking it's Mac related. Didn't move the stock. Didn't do anything. Right now, Apple is down 1.26%. It's just kind of hanging out just below here, trading range between 170 and 180. That's kind of where it's hanging out. They have their earnings November 2nd. So their earnings are coming up. More than likely, the earnings will disappoint. They'll have a reduction in revenue. We're going to talk about how iPhones probably aren't living up to the demand. That was high demand at first, and then once they got supply chains all figured out, now it's kind of down. So, yeah, I'm just, I'm hanging out. I'm not trimming it. I don't want to trim it at 170. I think it's got enough of a positive. If we go over here to FinViz and we look at Apple, the PE is crazy. It's 26 forward, 29 is the PE. Forward PE is 26. Average target price 199. You're at 173. 52-week range, you're 12% below your 52-week high. Year to date, you're up 33%. So there's been a lot of sales around 170 recently in the month of October. Quite a bit of sales. I mean, look at this dude, Tim Apple, as we fondly call him forever. $41 million worth at 172. These guys, he's got hundreds of millions of dollars. That's probably just a house in the south of France that he's buying. So there's that. I don't expect this one to move the needle. GM yesterday, their cruise division, they got suspended in California. The state is saying GM misrepresented information. So they can't use robo-taxis. They have to put drivers in their cars. Yeah, this was misreported, I think, by a lot of news organizations that says self-driving cars just hit a snag. They didn't. There's still Waymo out there driving driverless. It's just GM Cruise. I mean, let's be honest. Mary Barra is running this company into the ground. She takes a $40 million a year salary and a 40% year-over-year raise, and then says she can't justify the cost that the union. Well, you're going to continue having strikes, and you're going to continue running that company into the ground. Take a pay cut, Mary Barra. You don't need that house in the Far East. I mean, come on. So I have a little bit of a problem with her. Let's talk about earnings. Google missed. And Google, it's under $130. Yeah, I think if you bought this yesterday, remember, if you had the algorithm you saw right before earnings, it got you out with a 5.3% gain. There's the algorithm. Got you out yesterday right before earnings. You're welcome. You're welcome if you signed up. I will have the $250 TrendSpider offer probably tomorrow. I will put it in the newsletter. I will put out a special newsletter when it becomes active. It's called a pre-Black Friday sale is what TrendSpider told me. But you'll get my algorithm. What you do is you sign up using my link in Linktree right here, linktr.ee/daily stock pick. Sign up right there. Then you email me
And the email address is right here. And I'll send you everything. But look, Google, clear as day. Got you out right before earnings. And then it just trampled down. You're at 128 right now. Buy it. It's under 130. I'm telling you, this is a company that will be perfectly fine long term. That RSI is down at 29. It is oversold right now. You're under the 200-day. When's the last time you were under the 200-day on Google? The reason it is down is because of cloud. Their cloud revenue declined. I will read you this. Cloud revenue came in worse than anticipated and overshadowed its overall positive results. Earnings per share, $1.55 on revenues of $76 billion, beat estimates of $1.45 and $75 billion estimates. 11% year-over-year revenue growth broke its year-long streak of single-digit growth. So it had double-digit growth. However, where things went south is the segmented revenue. YouTube advertising revenue, $7.95 billion versus $7.81 billion positive. Google Cloud revenue, $8.41 billion versus $8.64 billion. That's where it cost them. Traffic acquisition costs, $12.64 billion versus $12.63 billion. Alphabet's cloud unit doubled overall revenue growth, jumping by 22% year over year, and turned in operating profit versus a loss last year. However, the slightly slower expansion rates concerns investors who fear the company is falling behind AWS and Microsoft Azure. So I'll put a little bit more in there about the AI stuff. As for the company, CFO Ruth Porat told investors that cloud growth remains strong, but customers are pulling back their spending in that area. So overall, big tech continues to live and die by the cloud. Shares shed 6%. We'll go over Amazon because Amazon reports tomorrow, Thursday, after the bell. Microsoft yesterday killed it. Microsoft is up 4%. They're at 344. Hopefully you bought it under 330. Like I said, the algorithm got you in at 316. You're going to cover this gap up to 350. You're at 344 right now. Microsoft reported $2.99 in earnings per share on revenues of $56 billion. That exceeded estimates of $22.65, $2.65, and $54 billion. Total revenues grew 13% year over year. However, Azure revenues jumped 29% year over year, faster than the 26% analysts expected. Excuse me one moment. Hey, stop. Okay, had to yell at the dog. Additionally, Microsoft Cloud continues to help customers drive operating leverage, which is Azure OpenAI service, seeing strong momentum. I'm going to have to stop this because I think the dog may have to go out. I'll be right back. God, I hate editing. Okay. Sorry about that. I hate editing. She didn't have to poop. She was just going to drink water. So Azure jumped 29% faster. Additionally, the company saw commercial office products accelerate despite continued weakness in the consumer segment. Meanwhile, net income rose 27% year over year. The AI-specific tailwinds continue to support this stock with shares up 5% after the bell. You can read about this in the Stock Nerds. Microsoft and Google. It's all right here. You can read all about it. He does a fantastic job. StockMarketNerd.com. I will include this in my newsletter. I won't include all of his charts. I'll just include a link to it. You can absolutely 100% read this. I love his newsletter. I think he does a tremendous job of understanding and looking at all of the fundamentals that you need from every stock that he has. So I like it. I love it. I think both of these stocks, Google and Amazon, or Google and Microsoft, if you are long-term and you are looking to add to a portfolio, both of these are buying opportunities. Microsoft is up 4%. I think anything under 340 at this point, I think you can get it. I think even at 343, I think you're fine buying that one. Google at 126, just buy it. Just buy it. They are not going to have a problem. This is, if you use Bard, I know plenty of people that I've turned Bard onto, and they love it. They love it. It's just it's an amazing integration. Remember, Google has Android. They are going. We talked about Apple having personal AI yesterday, the ability to do that type of thing. Google has what 60% of the world's phone market, so they're even larger than Apple. So they have an opportunity to do it as well. ChatGPT's app is going to be on Microsoft phones. You're going to get that on PCs. You're going to get it, probably in the world where PC kind of stuff happens. But I just don't think that ChatGPT, I think when you integrate it into something else, it's going to be significantly better. So you can look at that one. Now let's talk about Snap. Snap earnings yesterday. There's a 5-minute chart yesterday, what you're seeing on your screen. I'll include this in the newsletter. This is just, so the dark black here, that's yesterday's trading action right there between about 964 and about $10. Snap has been, we can look at a longer term chart. I just wanted to point out the after hours action yesterday. It dipped right before earnings down to $8 and it flew to $12 yesterday. 5-minute chart, that's a 35% pop. If you were Nostradamus, if you could go back in history, if you are Michael J. Fox, and you can just rewind the DeLorean, you'd make 35% in 5 minutes on this stock. It's not legendary. I mean, there's plenty of other legendary ones that are 100% and 400% in 5 minutes. But this one's damn close. So if we go back here and we just look at Snap, let's look at it on the 4-hour algorithm. Am I buying it right now? Let's look. Because I do think they pointed out in their earnings call. Now it's back at $9.89. It's only up 2%. They made 2 cents per share, which is a positive. Remember last time they lost 2 cents per share. The stock went from 13. It went all the way down to 9. And you went back up to the 200-day. You rejected off the 200-day. You came back down to 8. You're back up at the 200-day now. I completely expect this one to reject again. Completely. If you hold up above, look at this candle right here. The high, 1087. The low, 987. You're trading right at the lows of the day right now here in Snap. So it's pulling back. You got a gap down here. I don't think this one's filled at 8. I think you're completely coming back down. I don't think you're going to hold that 200-day. If you hold the 200-day for a significant amount of time, and the 200-day right now is at 1025, so you're under it. But if you hold that 200-day for a significant amount of time, that's when this gap up here at 1144 is where it starts, to 1234. That's where that can come into play. Until you hold that 200-day, it doesn't come into play. Now, if you want to read about Snap's earnings, I'll include this in the newsletter. Snap fluctuates after jumping 13% after closing a mid-earnings beat. You can read that article. I'm not a huge Snap. I'd trade it. I wouldn't own it. Let's talk about Spotify. Spotify killed earnings. And I just want to read you a quote from an article I read. CFO Paul Vogel, called the quarter an inflection point, saying he expects profitability to continue into the fourth quarter and into 2024. Shares rose 10% on the day, looking likely to challenge their year-to-date highs in the coming days. With the stock up more than 100% year-to-date, investors will be looking for the next catalyst to drive further gains. That's a good quote. I mean, that's a solid one for Spotify. You are probably listening to me on Spotify. You may be listening to ads on Spotify. They all get paid for that. Again, 36 cents per share. That's profitable. Look, they lost $1.69 last time. So I would continue to look at this one as a positive moving stock. I like Spotify. You can look at these upper ranges of 2021 at about $350. You're trading at $166. You haven't broken that 200-day. The 200-day is at 186. If we go over here and we look at FinViz to try and see, okay, let's look at some PEs. Forward PE is 131. This is an expensive stock. 100%. It's up 131%, 113%, excuse me. Target price is 179. The 52-week high is 182, so you're only 7% off. Is it worth taking the risk? Look at this. TD Cowen yesterday, 2 days ago, market performed $129. So it's expensive. If you are going to own this one, I would say trade it and trade it against that 200-day. If it holds the 200-day, you can expect it to get back to these highs at 250. If it doesn't, just expect it to come back down. And you can use the 4-hour algorithm. The 4-hour algorithm doesn't work great. I mean, I think it misses a lot of the downturn. It kind of gets you into these false breakouts. You can see them right here. It just gets, the MACD hasn't performed well on this particular stock. Maybe the 65-minute. Let's look at the 65-minute algorithm, because yesterday I included in the newsletter a bunch of stocks in the core portfolio that were in the 65-minute. This one, 65-minute got you in at 150, and you're at 167 right before earnings, 150 yesterday. On October 20th. October 20th, it got you in. So that's the 65-minute algorithm. That's a pretty good one, to be honest with you. And that they're Danish, so they reported in the middle of the day, I think it was. But yeah, 65-minute might be a good one to trade. Let's talk about some core portfolio. Boeing. Boeing was up 3% in pre-market. It has lost those gains. It has come back down. It is down 0.48%, 181. I think if you grab this under 180, their earnings were solid. I don't think that they beat, but they reiterated guidance, which was the big one. They kept their cash flow targets, and that's the biggest point for this one. You can see here's a chart of the thing. I'll include fewer 737 deliveries. They brought that down. Remember, they have the problem with Spirit AeroSystems. Spirit AeroSystem, SPR, is the one that really popped. Here's the financial goals. You can read more about it. I'll include this article. I still like Boeing at this price. I mean, we're all going to be flying. They're going to be making maintenance of these planes. They will deliver. They just are sitting on basically planes that are sitting there that they can't sell. So it's not that there's no buyers. They just can't sell them because of regulatory issues, either here or in China. With the algorithm, it got you a buy, by the way, today. Just spoiler in the scans alert. It got you a buy at 182.36. So the one that I'm excited about is Meta after the bell today. Meta after the bell, you're down 2% at 305. I like this one. I've said it. Buy it under 300. Right before earnings, it gets you out here at 0.69%. I don't know that I'd necessarily play the earnings on this one. It is a little bit of a risk. We can go over here and we can look at, let's look at the valuation here. Well, here's a good article that I found. Meta's still a bargain before its earnings. And here's the investment thesis. You can read this if you want. If we go over here and we look at the Meta ratings, Seeking Alpha analysts, buy 3.65. Wall Street, strong buy 4.51. Quant System, strong buy 4.99. You can't get higher than 4.9. It's a 5-point scale. So it's one of the highest convictions of the quant rating from Seeking Alpha. I love those quant ratings. And if you want Seeking Alpha versus Motley Fool, there's a great article, Which Service is Better? I've included that in the newsletter already. So I think it was in yesterday's newsletter or the day before. You can just go over to dailystockpick.substack.com and just look up Seeking Alpha versus Motley Fool. I think you'll find it. But Meta, I say own it under 300. I think my average price is about 304, 305 at this point. I've done several lots where I've purchased it. I might buy it again today. Look at that weakness. I just can't imagine. The only problem that Meta has is spending. And it also has a problem of how well it's done year to date. There might be people who see Meta come out with kind of a meat. Maybe they come out. Forward PE is only 17. They don't have a ton to hit. You do have that double top right there at about 325. So you have a 10% top where you have to break through the double top. But if we go back here, let me just go back and rather than a 4-hour, we'll look at a weekly, because the weekly will take you back to the highs of 2021. and that's 372. And what's the average target price? 368. So I think you have those highs in the range if they report well. Seaport Research Partners buy 365 is their target price. That's just from yesterday, October 24th. You don't see a ton of sales here. Well, you do from, Chief Operating Officer, 293. I mean, these douches selling back in August at highs. Maybe they got laid off too. Who knows? But they're probably not selling their entire lot worth. They're just, these guys are buying houses. They live in California. You pay, $5 million for a shed in the backyard. That's what you pay in California. So I'm not worried about it. Long term, I think even if you bought it today at 305, I still think long term you'd be fine. Another earnings tomorrow, Amazon. And we talked about Amazon Web Service. We talked about the cloud businesses of Google and Microsoft. Amazon, I think you're fine in Amazon. I think this 124, you have total weakness going into earnings. There is an article here on Seeking Alpha, 3 reasons why Amazon could beat estimates. And you can read this. I mean, you don't tune into me to just read you news stories. Go and read this. The first is moderate earnings per share expectations. It's moderate. They're not expecting to blow it out. Strengthen the U.S. economy. Prime Day was killer for them. And IT spending rebounds. AWS top line reacceleration. The real bet that you have to take is, did Google weakness on the cloud, where did they go? Did they all go to Microsoft, or did they go to Microsoft and AWS? I think they went to AWS. I think if AWS shows a super strong quarter, this one could be an absolute killer. So understand that Amazon, I think it's my second or third largest holding. I haven't added to it recently. I probably will now that it's at 124. But the problem that I have, the conflict that I have in my own self, and I say this completely honest, it's below the 9-day. And I like that confirmation above the. I don't like to trade a downward trend because I don't want to time things. I just don't want to. That's why I say Google, when it regains its confirmation and it starts an upward trend, add. Don't add, today at 127. You can if you don't have a position. I completely support that one. But if you have a position, you want to add when it's on its way up. You want to trim when it loses. When it starts to button hook like that and you're looking at a trim it. But don't add until it has confirmation. You're below the 200-day on this one. But Amazon, I think if you wanted to play earnings on this one, this is the gamble that you take. Their earnings are tomorrow. You're down 3% today. It's at 124. I like that one. Let's talk about social requests. So CJ Baugh wants me to look at EXPI. I had to do a little bit of digging on this one. This is EXP World Holdings. It's a real estate company. It's a cloud-based real estate company. I couldn't find much on it, but I wouldn't. I mean, the one thing that I know, it's a real estate agent that's cloud-based. We'll go over to FinViz and we'll look at the craziness of this one. This is not one to own. This is 100% not one to own. This is 100% one to trade. And look at the volume, how the volume spikes right there, and you get the shoot up. It's hype. And then you get the volume leveling off, and what do you have? You have just a crash. And why do you have that crash? Well, let's go over to FinViz and EXPI. EXPI, the PE, 285. The forward PE, 46. So you think these guys are going to grow faster than Apple? You think these guys are going to grow faster than Google? You think they're going to grow 4 times faster than Facebook or Meta? It's up 29% year to date. Good price. Target price is 22. That is with 3 ratings, 2 from 2021. So Berenberg initiated coverage in July of 2021 with a buy at $53. I don't know where the hell this one was trading, but $53 is crazy. Excuse me one moment. Hey, stop. So I think she's just, let me make sure. Hold on. You're going to hear me talk to the dog. No, go under there. You're fine. She wants me to put her under the blanket. Oh, God. The world of dogs, it's a wonderful thing. I'd trade this one. CJ, this is a trade. This isn't a buy. This isn't one that you absolutely 100% need to hold in your portfolio. Trade it on a 65-minute. Let's see what the 65-minute gets you. 65-minute over 8 months makes you 22%. Doubles your buying and holding. And it just got you out with a nice 2% gain. So 65-minute, you're in at 1441. It's at 1427 right now. It's got no upward trajectory whatsoever. Okay, let's talk about scans. The scans, DraftKings, I still hold this one. Why I haven't sold it over 30 and rebought it under 30, I don't know. But let's look at the 4-hour real quick. 4-hour right here. That's part of the paid newsletter. We'll just remove those. Because that's a reason to buy and sell. But 30 is the price target on this one. This one I bought, I think, at about 25 or so. I should be adding to it. 29.19. You're at 28.50. You're hanging out. You're using this 200-day right before their earnings. Their earnings are coming up next week. I think it's November 2nd post-market. So DraftKings buy. Roblox is another one that came up. This is at 32.41. I don't think you want to buy this. I would probably not buy this over 30. So I would wait for it to get under 30. It's got some momentum. It's got confirmation. This is a secondary cross up here. It's not the initial cross up and the initial buy was back here at 27, under 30. Don't be greedy. It's at 32. Don't think you're going to go to 40. I would take and trim your initial buy. If this is a trade for you, trim the initial buy. I think you still have the opportunity to fill this gap up to 37, but it's an issue. I mean, you're just taking a risk. I'd start to trim. I talked about this kind of button hooking here. It faked me out. Again, the algorithm has you still in. Cleveland Cliffs, this is one yesterday. Remember we talked about they blew away earnings, and the reason they blew away earnings, they cut costs. I mean, it's simple. This is not a company that's going gangbusters. You've got an auto workers strike that is affecting the steel manufacturing of Cleveland Cliffs. They expect that strike to be settled in Q4. That strike was escalated yesterday with GM earnings coming in positive and Mary Barra saying, I am not giving money to these people. Yeah, that's essentially what she said. She's just running this crap into the ground. I'm not a big fan. She did not lead the electrification of America in my mind. Other than what Mr. Biden, who part senile in my mind. I'm not picking sides. Listen, I voted for Biden. 100%, just to be perfectly honest with you, I voted for Biden. I think he was the better choice. Is he a great president? No. But definitely by far the better choice. 1565 is the buy on Cleveland Cliffs. You're trading at 1563. So Boeing, we talked about. They had a cross up. It is under 180. The cross up here is at, let's see, I went the wrong way. 182.36, 179. Boeing's just losing confidence from investors. Uber is down again today. Uber 42.79 is where it's trading. The buy-in today is at 44.18. I will probably take another buy on this one. I just continue to think that the theory on Uber is that they will make more than 18 cents per share, and this one will pop again. It's an expensive stock. It's not cheap. If we go over here to FinViz and we look up Uber, the forward PE is 43. So it is super expensive. But I do think that they haven't. This is going down because the only way Uber is going to make money at the ride sharing service, and they're going to blow it away, is when driverless cars come around. So Uber's a little bit of a gamble. I was surprised that SCO has a cross up here at 1747. I was shocked because I do think that I think oil's going up. SCO is the ultra short of crude oil. So take it with what you will. I just report it. I don't write it. ARKG, the ARK funds, I like trading these. I don't like owning them. The problem that I have with this chart is look at that slide. You're not buying into strength. You're buying into weakness. And I don't see enough of a pop up in order to buy. Again, higher for longer is going to hurt the ARK funds. ARKG, ARKW. If I were going to buy one, I would buy, two of the ARK funds. It would be ARKG because I know nothing about genomics. And I think Kathy Woods, her and her team understand that. ARKW, it's an internet ETF. The only reason I got into ARKW, and I think I got into it in 2016 or so, they were the only ETF that held GBTC. So it was the only ETF that actually held Bitcoin. Today, she has a super Bitcoin. And by the way, Bitcoin's up again today. So we'll take a look at Mara. But ARKW, Airbnb is up. BABA is up. Buy. Let's look at BABA because I do think BABA provides a good. The KWeb provided a good. That's got a cross up, and KWeb is the ETF for China. 82.88 on BABA, and you're trading at 81. I think this one goes back to 100 at some point. China's pretty weak, but they're putting money into their economy. I mean, with world politics now, this is the problem that you have with these Chinese companies. It's just world politics. Fubo, Share loves Fubo. Fubo 256 is the buy on the 4-hour. You've seen this kind of just slow down. I don't have Fubo. I like it. I want to point out a stock, the cruise stocks, CCL. This is a Carnival Cruise Line. This, don't be fooled. It can go down more. This is a stock, this is a company that took out so much cash in order to float their operations through the pandemic that they have so much debt that higher for longer will hurt them. Even though their cruise ships are absolutely packed, higher for longer is going to hurt this company. Even though you probably can't get on a Carnival Cruise Line. Yeah, higher for longer will hurt this company. PDD. And I want to point that out because it's just been, that stock has been a nightmare. PDD, Pinduoduo, they owe Temu. If you haven't shopped at Temu, I like Temu. I need to order more from Temu. They have earnings coming out November 24th. Temu's losing them a bunch of money, by the way. We talked about Carnival. One that I like on the rebound, and this is a good example of a company that got beaten down and is on the rebound, and solid rebound, by the way. An absolute stellar rebound for a Dow stock. Nike. I think it's a Dow stock. They might not be a Dow stock. It might be just be an S&P stock. But Nike dipped down here to the below 90. Below 90, and it just, then it had its earnings, positive earnings. You got a gap up on earnings between 89 and 93. You haven't come back. You still have confirmation. You just zip through that 200-day. I would expect this to see some resistance up here at about 109. It's at 104.14. This is a secondary cross-up. And when we talk about a secondary cross-up, you can see here. So the algorithm has some moving averages in it. And you can see right here, it got you in at 94.84. The MACD was way down here. Got you in at 95.84. And the MACD just kind of tumbles up. Well, the algorithm doesn't get you out because it does include moving averages. But all of the requirements to get back in caused when I scanned it, it said, ooh, it's a buy here. It's called a secondary cross-up in my mind. And it says, ooh, it's even doubly a strong move. So understand that's what that is. This has just been a stock that has been solidly moving. But, we contrast that to Carnival Cruise Line. And I'm trying to shrink this down a little bit. Carnival Cruise Line, which has just been negative. Melly is one that I've gone over in the past. This is one that has a cross up here as well. You can see the button hook down at the bottom. Still doesn't have confirmation. 12.22 is the price. It's at 11.98. That's 1,222. GE. This has been a stock that has surprised me, but it's at 113. This has been a stock of the year in my mind from a turnaround perspective. Let's see. Where did GE is up 73% year to date. Yeah, that's a solid move. So, okay, I'm done. I will be back again tomorrow. So tonight we have Meta. Tonight's Meta. Tomorrow is Amazon. I like Meta. I might buy more today. Subscribe to, go over to Linktree, linktr.ee/dailystockpick. I will put up the $250 TrendSpider offer when I get it. It will be in the Linktree, so stay tuned to Linktree if you want that offer. Seeking Alpha, it's $189. It's $50 off. I love this service. That's the second link right there. Webull. I don't talk about Webull enough. I have my phone next to me. Let me do a Webull check. Because I put $1,000 in there at the beginning of the year. And I've now got 2,381. So I will be donating the gains to charity at the end of the year. I don't know which charity. I probably won't make that public. But because, if you put $1,000 in there with me, it's up to you. You can trade with me with $1,000 based on my picks and stuff. But Daily Stock Pick newsletter right there. Visible, $20 off. Visible has two plans, $25 and $35. $25 is the one that I'm on. I run this podcast on $25. I use hotspots all the time when I'm traveling. So it's a great service. It's through Verizon. And if you're paying anything more, and that's all in, $25. So if you're paying anything more, look at that. If you're buying a Tesla, you get 3 months free of full self-driving plus up to $500 off. If you use that link, AT&T Fiber at your house. The reason I look so pretty, and again, I say this every time, the reason I look so pretty is because I got gig service at my house. Savvy Trader, if you want to follow my trade, Savvy Trader is one. It's free to sign up. I've got two portfolios, the trading portfolio and the Daily Stock Pick core portfolio. If you're just new to trading or you're new to investing and you want some stocks to trade and stocks that personally, I don't think you have a problem holding for long term, here's 35 positions, 35 stocks that I think are solid companies with solid earnings that you can absolutely 100% hold. I update this probably once a quarter. So if you subscribe to it, don't expect a ton of activity. The trading portfolio, I maybe trade once a week. I'm not trading a lot. And let me go over my philosophy on why I'm not trading a lot. And it's because of you douches. So as a trader, you want to establish ground rules and you want to establish systems. My trading system was always, let's trade in the morning. And when I trade in the morning, that's because you have volatility. You have all of the opportunity in the morning. In the afternoons, you just don't have the volatility. So for long term, you do want to invest in the afternoon. You do want to buy late in the day because you want that volatility to shake out a little bit. For trading, you want to trade in the morning. That's because the volatility. That's why Ninja Trader, Warrior Trader, I think his name is, Ross Cameron, he turned $10,000 or $100,000 into $10 million by trading in the morning. And he uses just crazy. If we go over here to stock websites, pre-market movers, investing.com, investing.com/equity/pre-market. You can look at all the pre-market movers and look at, 40% change, 15, 32%. Most of them are biotech, and you get them, you swing them. Swing them for 1, 2, 3% gains, and you get out. You're happy with any gains. You're happy with any gains. That's what that is, and that's how he turned $10,000 into $10 million. I think he wound up blowing up his account a couple of times, but with no risk comes no reward. So any questions you have, hit me up on the on any of the socials. All of the links are up there up top. If you don't have socials, you can hit me up on email, dailystockpick3@gmail.com. Okay. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. See you. Bye. Brian, there were no better choices. It was Biden or Trump, one or the other. And you're telling, and listen, Brian, I don't know if you're a fan of Trump. I will just put it to you, my personal experience with Trump. I grew up in New Jersey. I grew up with Donald Trump building his buildings around New York and bankrupting Atlantic City. You can Google it. Let's see. Let's go to YouTube, and we will go to Trump at Atlantic City Council. Now, I'm not saying yeah, Atlantic City, yeah. You can look up some of these things where he basically bankrupted. I mean, he yeah. There's a clip, I forget where it is, but he's screaming at the city council. I had friends who had personal dealings with him, where he just contractors who he just didn't pay. He said, "Sue me." So I don't think he's a very good human, and I contrast that with Joe Biden, who probably his son is most likely a criminal. Joe Biden, who probably took advantage of his position in the government to enrich his own pockets, which I think Trump does as well. I mean, Jared Kushner dealing with the Saudis and then getting a $200 billion or $2 billion loan from the Saudis after they're out of office. You can say all you want about, kind of stuff like that, but I think everybody enriches their pockets. I'm not justifying what Joe Biden did. I think it's bad. I don't think we had a good choice, but I'm happy that I made that choice. So we had way better choices. Today, if I had to vote today, Brian, and I wouldn't be happy about it, but if I had to vote between all of the Republican candidates and all of the Democratic candidates, I would probably vote for Chris Christie. And I don't think that's a good choice. Perfectly honest, I don't think that's a good choice, but I'd rather see somebody incredibly moderate. I don't think what the Republicans are doing right now does anybody any favors, but I do agree with the people holding out on their votes. If you read about these, the special resolution, I think that I forget what they call them, but essentially what just extended the government. What they've done over the past 12 years between the Obama administration, the Trump administration, and the Biden administration with these special resolutions is they've sidestepped the spending ability of the U.S. government. The U.S. government typically is constrained with spending and approved spending. What these special resolutions to extend the debt ceiling and things of that sort, it extends they put all kinds of crazy stuff, spending stuff, and it's Republicans and Democrats, and they put them in there, all of these spending stuff, which has caused the deficit to explode. So I do think, listen, Matt Gaetz gets, I have no idea why he got the blame for, I think it's because he wanted to take it and wanted his name in the news. He didn't do it for the right reasons, but I think some of the others did to vote McCarthy out because the essentially what McCarthy had promised them was we would have 12 budgets once a month. You would have extend the government for 1 month, and it would be zero-based budgeting. You wouldn't spend more than you took in. And they'd have to make some pretty difficult choices and difficult cuts. And if they didn't make those choices and cuts, the government would shut down. So I agree with that that's the way that needs to be going. And I think the only one who's actually willing to do that, I think Chris Christie does it. And I think what is it? Vaughn, I forget the new rock shaman. I forget his name. Vivek is his first name. So the only thing I fear is that he runs the country like let's be honest. Trump didn't run it like a CEO. He ran it like a CEO who wanted to bankrupt his company because according to his chief of staff, Mick Mulvaney, there is no appetite in Washington to cut spending. So we're just going to cut taxes. That's not the way to run a good company. And that's why I say Donald Trump is a horrible business person, because he's been bankrupt more often than not. And he's protected by the bankruptcy laws. So he's not he's not a good human. B, he's not a good businessman. And I think Vivek would probably do some shady shit like that. I like Vivek from his financial standpoint. But let's be honest, he pump and dumped his own company. That's how he made his money in the biotech world. PWT. What the hell is the PWT? What's PWT, Brian? Future Physicians of America? Pet Partners? I don't know what PWT. But I love debating. And I don't hold anything against anybody. Whoever you voted for, I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. I have friends who voted for everybody. Look at the heat map. Oh, that's a rough heat map. Hoofa. I think Google under 130. I think you buy it all day long. Healthcare getting killed. Killed Thermo Fisher. Where's United Healthcare? Let's see where UNH is. UNH is down 0.5. So it's not getting killed. Okay. I'm going to head out. I got to edit this video together because the dog was crying. It's 10:19. Yeah, I got about 2 hours worth of work ahead of me. Whew. Actually, I'll leave it up for a little bit. I'm going to go grab my laptop. We're going to move this. Brian, what is the PWT organization? Oh, what the hell was that? Oh, that's my Discord. I was playing with Algo Trade Alert. Moon Valley. I was playing with
discovered the enchantment of the Aladdin-style touch lamp, a captivating blend of intelligence and elegance. Plus, the lamp's standby anti-leakage feature. All the anti-safety roll away
is the wunderbar in Wing or online marketing.
Discover the enchantment of the Aladdin-style touch lamp,
And
a
I know the
captivating
brand involved. I see about this is thing one meter. You can do all the way beschweißbar man.
Oh, don't switch. How do I get back to the chirp? How do I get back to my chirp? Chirp Showcase. I don't want Chirp Showcase. Robert Kennedy Jr. I don't mind Kennedy Jr. I think he's a bit of a wacko. He got on and debated on the All In podcast. Freeberg, I think, is the scientist guy. And some of his anti-vaccine stuff, Freeberg kind of said is just it's wacky science. It's not actual science. PWTF. What's PWTF? There's my girl. That's my girl's adoption when I found her. This is the one that was just crying. Okay, I'm going to quit this Discord server because I don't want the beeps. And what I'm going to do is we're going to send this over as 1024. Move that to trash. Then we're going to share, airdrop. And then airdrop. Okay. And we're getting 2 files. Boom, 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 boom. T-Mobile guy trying to be his old CEO by wearing crazy shirts, T-Mobile shirts. Move to trash. I don't think the whole government's corrupt. I think there's a good amount of the government that is corrupt, but I don't think the whole one is corrupt. Received. Now this one should come over. Let's see. Okay. Now 0940. Let's move this over airdrop wise. There we go. Okay. Mama, wah, wah, wah. Rocket Pharmaceuticals. That just had a pump.
that because those upgrade, you want low upgrade rates,
Right, low churn, Fisher. I guess part though our audience also cares about Apple for obvious reasons. I mean, how would you characterize the launch of the 15?
Well, I would say it was a big success in that it did drive switching for us. And one of the things that's interesting is this new iPhone unlocks advanced network technologies that only T-Mobile has. So we have what's called I'm gonna geek out on you, four-way carrier aggregation. That means the phone can talk to 4 different bands of our network at the same time. It's a breakthrough for an iPhone. And we're the only ones that have it. And that's gonna feed even more speed and performance for T-Mobile customers relative to our competitors, which might mean that these low upgrade rates for us will have some durability into the
Good
future.
morning. It is 9:30 Wednesday, October 25th. I've been
Taking share in
looking at
rural
Dell,
markets versus urban.
looking at.
Can you talk about the difference between the two? First quarter ever.
Good morning.
We
It
were
is
the switching
9:30
leader
Wednesday.
in rural markets. Remember, this is an area where we started focus on 2 years ago. We were never really big players in rural, and this is tiny towns. I'm talking about 40% of the country, everywhere except the top 100 markets. We were dead last. We said we'd get to 20% by next year, and then we would eventually be the leading share taker. And this quarter, for the
iMovie.
T-Mobile was the leading share taker across that entire.
Okay, I'm gonna quit this OBS. I will see you guys tomorrow.
What about the cable competition? I mean, they're share. You've called it, I think, low calorie when it comes to some of those prices. But at what point?
Christian, he came on. No, he literally was on the All In podcast, and he said he kind of he pointed out vaccines are good, but he said the COVID vaccines had unnecessary, and it's probably mercury, unnecessary ingredients that were included in it. So I guess that's right, but he included a whole bunch of other things. And Freeberg said after the interview, you can listen to the interview on All In. He said he didn't agree with him and that he was just fundamentally wrong. And Freeberg's a scientist. I mean, I trust that guy more than I trust RFK. Even though I think RFK has his points. But I would question anybody who came out that strong with that kind of view, debating an actual scientist. That's my whole thing, and I think he's a little nutty. I do think that his uncle and his father were killed by the CIA, and I think that has a lot to do. I think the guy's super smart. I don't think he's out of touch. I think he's a little wacky, and I think he does have a little bit too wackiness. Some of his views, and I forget some of his financial views, weren't in line with mine, and so it's not that you have to be in line with mine for me to give you my vote, because I'm not going to agree on everything. But it was and I forget specifics, but it was financial, it was the vaccines, and it was his way of debating that I just didn't care for. And yeah, I don't disagree with Biden shutting down the Keystone Pipeline. Honestly, the problem I have with shutting down the Keystone Pipeline, and this is just logical sense, is when you shut down the Keystone Pipeline and you still have to transport oil. So how do you transport oil if you're shutting down the Keystone Pipeline? Well, you're taking it out of a pipeline and you're putting it in trucks. So you're putting it on the roadways, which is a significantly more dangerous and more hazardous to the environment than pipeline. Christian, we all listen. I was a marketing person, sales and marketing, and I can tell you, probably 90% of the people I worked with couldn't sell, and I hated selling. I just had the skill to sell, but I hated it, and I wanted other people to do it. Okay, hold on one second. I need to. Good morning. It is okay, it's that one first. So we're going to take this out. We're going to put this in first. And then we're going to this in second. And we're going to do I have some music? I thought I had some music. Let me see. Dude, I guess I don't. It's more than that, Brian. He was here, I'll send it to you.
More kind of, I think, bigger framing question for you, Robert, is really around vaccines in general. I think your commentary around the COVID response and
here, you can just, it's at 55.10. Copy link. Hey, Christian, like I said, he's not my perfect president. Let me see. I need to edit this real quick. Oh, what the hell happened? There we go.
I'll be right back. Sorry about that. I hate editing. She didn't have to poop. She was just going to drink water.
Okay. And we're going to, oh. There we go. Okay.
I'm going to have to stop this because I think the dog may have to go out. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. I hate editing. She didn't have to poop.
Okay. Now, we're good. Let me just make sure.
Good morning. It is 9:30, Wednesday, October 25th. I've been looking at Dell.
I have to cut this one a little bit more.
If I had good morning. Good morning. It is 9:30, Wednesday, October 25th. Good morning. It is 9:30, Wednesday.
Okay, there we go. Sorry. I am busy editing. Okay. See you guys. I am done. Rough day. Rough looking day. Shopify's down 4%. Amazon's down 3%. Boeing's down 3%. Cleveland Cliffs down 1%. FB, the blue chip growth. Google is down 8%. That's just an overreaction. Microsoft down 3%. Palantir down 2%. Qualcomm down 2%. Shopify, like I said. Roblox down 3%. Taiwan Semi under 90 again. Uber under 43 down 3%. XLY down 1%. Tesla is ironically up 1%. Have no idea how that happens, but export file. Next. 1025 pod. And I got to do a thumbnail. Okay. See you guys later. I'm going to stop